Yo, what is up, everybody? Jasco back again. Another chapter from the story titled The Brook, written by JT. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author. Like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 3. The moonlights had almost been extinguished by the overhanging canopy and thickening dark clouds above. It brought along with it a grumble of thunder. I tried my best to ignore it and the sting of the cold wind as I walked. I passed several makeshift lamppoles, much like the ones I'd seen at the bridge, though none were lit. The further I walked, the more signs of a mine I saw. Rusty, discarded spades, busted turnover wheelbarrows, pickaxes with broken tips, and other tools I didn't recognize. When I reached the end of the path, I halted at the tall wall of granite, the foot of a mountain. Another rumble of thunder filled the silence, and a cold rain began to fall. I looked up at the sky. My lips parted in disgust. What did I do to you again? I sighed, then gazed at the large gaping hole in front of me. The path that had led me to the start of the mine. Wooden tracks ran out of it, with a few overturned mine carts next to it. I'd hoped I might find someone or something over here, but there was no one. Whoever had lit those lamps must have been on the other side of the river, in that station. I looked back over my shoulder towards the way I'd come, assessing my options. I could go back and wait by the bridge until morning. There was another rumble of thunder. In the cold, damp rain, I shook my head. Oh, stupid idea. I sighed and frowned at the dark cavern. I sure as heck didn't want to go in there either. It looked creepy and probably had who knows what living in there. There was no good reason for me to enter it, aside from keeping dry, which sounded very, very appealing at the moment. Choices. Before I could decide, a white figure appeared at the edge of the lantern's light at the start of the cave. What the? I jumped back in surprise, almost dropping the lantern. The figure didn't move or react, just stood still. Dang, you scared me. The figure made no reply. Do you talk? The figure said nothing. Oh, right. I mean, spirits do English? I took a step forward as I spoke, hoping to get a better look. 9? I took another step, but froze when I made out what I saw. A striking young woman, unlike any I'd ever seen or seen since. Her hair was a blonde so pale that it appeared almost white. It trailed down her shoulders with a few strands curling up the front. Her complexion was easy, her jaw sharp and angular, like many Germans I'd met. I guess she was either 5'8" or 5'9" in height, and her eyes had this surreal amber tone to them, that if it hadn't been for the lantern's light, I'd have sworn they glowed. She wore a short-sleeved ivory dress and skirt, an odd attire given where we were. Rain, time of day, and the cold. I heard stories how guys had been stricken to a standstill when they'd seen the one, as they called. That one woman they just knew was meant for them. But I hadn't understood how literal the phrase could be until I saw her. I couldn't move. She was that beautiful, and on some deep level, it scared me. Her amber eyes scanned me over before locking onto my own. "Bist du verloren?" she asked. I didn't answer. Couldn't answer, dazed by her face. "Bist du verloren?" she asked again. No, I mean, yes, I mean, ja. Ich kann nicht viel Deutsch sprechen. "English then," she said. More of a statement than question. I wiped some of the rain from my brow, then nodded. "Yeah, could you help me? I was in a car accident, got run off a bridge. I need a phone and I need to get to a hospital." Her face portrayed no emotion as I spoke, and still had none when she spoke. "I'm afraid you will not find any hospitals near here. And I'm afraid I don't have a phone." She said the word as if it were foreign to her, but I was too cold, in pain, and dazed to care or think much of it. I wanted to get indoors, sit in front of a heater, and then get myself checked out by a doctor. Alright, then could you take me to the nearest house where I could find one? I saw a place back there. I jabbed the thumb over my shoulder with my free hand, but the bridge went out when I tried to cross it. Got no clue where to go next. She looked past me, towards the river for a moment, before her eyes flicked back at mine. She chewed on her pale lips, contemplating something, then said, "That bridge is the only way across, unless you care to swim, however." She gazed over her shoulder at the cave. "On the other side of this mine, there's a house where a professor is staying. He'll likely have a phone and be able to help you." He turned back to me and smiled for the first time. "You'll just have to follow me." "Through there?" I couldn't keep the gasping surprise out of my voice. This lady wanted me to follow her through the creepy, dark, dank cave? Was she serious? "Yes," she replied. My mouth opened and closed a few times, unable to say anything. I began, trying to think of an excuse of why I couldn't go into the mine. "Do you know the way?" I felt stupid the moment a question left my lips. I'd just seen her come from the mine. Of course she knew the way. She must have thought the same, because she raised an eyebrow at me, reinforcing how stupid I felt, and said, "Yes, I do." I stood quietly, asking myself once again, what had I done to deserve all this? But when I couldn't come up with an answer to the question or a good excuse not to follow the strange lady, I nodded my head and gestured for her to lead on. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of chapter 3.